Hey everybody, welcome back to week one of 8 games a week. This week has been really crazy, what with my birthday and Sarah's birthday. We also drove down to California, picked up our younger kids, brought them up here with us to Portland, Oregon, where we live. And so it's been lots of drive time, lots of going to birthday parties, and not nearly enough board game play. So this week I only got in three, I know, out of eight, three proper board games this week. But I also played some pub games that I want to talk about, and I'll talk a little bit more about how I plan to do that moving forward. So I'm still, by the way, still looking for submissions, still looking for suggestions on the 20 games that I should be playing this year. So please jump in and give me comments either here on the YouTube channel or over on the Board Game Geek page. So you can help me fill in the 20 games that I'm going to play. So we started out strong for October, especially with Betrayal at House on the Hill. This was our first kind of family game night game with the kids home after they'd been gone all summer. So that was really cool. We played, it was me and Sarah and our children Alex and Nick and Emily. So we played, and as we ran through the game, we ended up bringing up the cannibal haunt. Those of you who are familiar with the game know how this goes. And Sarah was the traitor, and so we all fought together. I think in this game, what I really learned, what was really important, was building your stats. For Betrayal at House on the Hill, you really need to make sure that you're building up your character's stats so that when the haunt happens, if you are the person doing the haunt, you're tough enough to kill the other heroes or to take them on. And if you're not, if you have to fight the bad guys, whether it's just the monsters or the other player, you really need to be tough enough to do that. So I think that was what I really took away. And as we keep playing, that's what I'm going to do, is keep focusing on finding those rooms, the larder and those other rooms, that the gym and things like that help you make your character stronger, so that you can have the ability to fight those guys off. It was really funny. There was one point where Alex was playing the little boy, and he fended off 4 cannibals by himself. It was pretty crazy. And then it came down to just he and I, and Nick and Emily got eaten. It was terrible. But came down to he and I, and we ended up freeing half of the victims and taking down Sarah and the rest of the cannibals. So good times were had by all. It was good. It was a good Halloween type of a thing. The next couple of games I played were, I played Firefly. I played a solo version of Firefly. I can say that the setup for this game, even playing solo, takes just as long as playing it for 5 or 6 people. So that was kind of rough. I mean, just doing all that setup for the game, because when you play the solo version, for those of you who haven't, you only get 20 turns. So in that 20 turns now, you get to do all 4 action types: fly, buy, deal, and work, which that part is really cool, that you get to do 4 things on your turn instead of the normal 2, but it just was not enough time. You have 3 goals that you get to choose from when you play the solo game. You can either try and earn, I think it's $15,000, get solid with all 5 contacts, or do successfully complete 20 misbehave cards. I was going for the 20 misbehave cards. I only saw 12 and completed 11. The one thing that I really did like and I also collected only just under $7,000 and was only solid with 2 contacts, but those really weren't what I was going for. I was going for the misbehave cards, and only got 11 of the 12 I saw. And the only reason I didn't get that 12th one was because I didn't have River Tam and it was that weird, you must have River Tam card. So what I learned about that is that, as you're playing that game, if you're playing by yourself, it can be awful lonely in the black. And, playing that game with more people is way more fun. But it is definitely a challenging game to try and play solo. So I would say what I did was I left the game set up, and it actually inspired me, starting with crew. In the solo game, you get to start with crew, and that actually inspired me to use the bounty hunter cards. So on the next game I played, the third game of the 8 games this week that I played, we played Firefly again. I played it, just me and Alex played it together. 2-player, it was already set up, so that was nice. And then we went ahead and played together. In that game, we were playing Patience's War scenario, which is a pretty cool scenario. In that one, you're trying to get solid with Patience and Mr. Universe, and then go win a bunch of fights and misbehave in 3 different planets. I lost this game by just a few sectors. I was just a few sectors behind Alex when he won. So, but next time. And that was much more fun, I have to say. Like, it was the one big thing about that scenario is, like, once you are prepped and you're strong enough to do the first goal, it kind of is downhill from there. You're like, do the first goal, do the second goal, do the third. Now, in that one, you normally have to kill off a ton of crew along the way, but Alex and I both found ways to mitigate that with medics and certain other characters that could be kind of sacrificed instead of killing your main characters or your main crew. So I think from that one, what I learned was not to be so timid. Definitely, when the other guy has a faster ship, you definitely want to not be so timid. And so if I had been a little more aggressive, maybe I could have won by those few sectors. Back to the bounty hunting thing, we decided to randomly draft 2 crew members each from the bounty deck. So this gave us each 2 crew members to start the game with, because I feel like a lot of times when I play Firefly, I spend the early game just milling for crew, and just to help make the game go a little faster. And after playing the solo game, it seemed like that was a good way to go, and that worked out pretty well. I think Alex and I were both pretty happy with what we were able to do there. So I think that worked out really well to do that. So that was the 3. Those were the 3 games I played. That was what I learned from those. I've also decided to play some pub games because, I mean, the reality is I have lots of friends and family who are not into really deep games, and they want to play a more casual kind of a game experience. And me being who I am, I can't turn those games down and say, no, we have to play these heavier 20 games that I want to play 400 times this year. So we played Cards Against Humanity with Sarah's mom, Patty, and Sarah and Xander and I played. And it was a lot of fun. That game, I've heard a lot of people say it's fun 10 times, and I'm definitely in that camp. But it depends on the group of people you're playing with. And I think, we went into it intending to have a good time and just play kind of casually. And my strategy was funny, that we played it twice. And the first time I played, I was really trying to do what I normally do, which is know your audience and play against the other players. I know Alex will think this is really funny, so I'm going to play this card. And the second game we played, I didn't do that at all. I was actually randomly flipping cards from my hand. I would kind of shuffle my hand and flip a card randomly and look at it and say, yeah, that's good enough, and play that one, rather than try and overthink it. I think I did just as well both times. So I think that's going to be tricky to see if I can find strategy in Cards Against Humanity. The other game I played was called Thrift Shop, and this is by a local designer, a friend of mine, Matt Jacobs. And Matt had us over to his house Sunday afternoon, and we played his Thrift Shop game, which I love. I have a copy of it here. I'll be playing it more. And it's a really cool pressure luck dice game. I know there's a ton of these out there. But I think his scoring mechanism is really unique, the way he does that. So we played that twice. Sarah and Matt, Alice, James, Taylor, and Alex and I, we played that game twice, and we had a blast playing Thrift Shop. I can't say I really had a strategy so much. I mean, the idea is you're trying to get to 25 points faster than anybody else, and so I was doing that as the dice would allow. So those, I'll just kind of, over the weeks, I'll quickly talk about some pub games that I'm playing along the way, because I think it's important to note that these things are happening, but I won't be counting those as part of my 20 by 20. So that's all I got for this week. Moving forward, my plan is to have regular updates on Sunday night or Monday morning, get new videos out. Sorry this week was a little hectic, but thanks for hanging in there with me, and I will see you next time. Okay, I forgot and was reminded that I played Seven Wonders as well at Matt Analysis, so that was pretty cool. We played, it was me and Sarah and Alex, Matt, Alice, James, and Taylor, so we had a full 7 people playing Seven Wonders, which is a little crazy. I was trying to play, I was playing Babylon. I love the second wonder power on Babylon where you get to keep both of your cards at the end of the age. So I tried to get that very quickly. Made sure I set myself up resource-wise to be able to do that. And then my strategy there was to just play a really balanced game. Try and play get as diverse scoring methods as I could. I was seated between Rhodes and Giza, so it was really difficult to win military against Rhodes because they have tons of built-in military. And Giza had tons of resources for me to buy, which was great, but then she was getting a big giant pile of cash. So I was trying to stay really balanced, which I learned is very difficult when you're drafting. The drafting mechanic makes balance very difficult because you're just you get what you get. But I think it's been my experience in the past that when you try and focus too much on any one thing, you kind of get screwed by other people who want to deny you that thing that you were focusing on. People will purposely ditch cards or will use them to build their wonders rather than pass that along to you. So I'm really not sure what my strategy will be going forward with Seven Wonders. It has such a complex scoring system, which I love. And I think I've really got to I'm going to work on it some more to see what I can find for that one. But anyway, there was a 4th game, so 4 out of 8. Hey, that's not too shabby. But it'll get better, I promise. All right, thanks.